Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report. Before I tell you which 3 free agents the Raiders need to sign ASAP, you need to subscribe to the Raiders Report as soon as possible. And give us a follow on Rumble because this video was put out on Rumble before it was on YouTube. And if you pride yourself on knowing things before everyone else, give us a follow on Rumble at rumble.com/Raiders Report. So on today's show, I'm going to be ranking the top 3 players that the Raiders need to sign now. I'm talking ASAP Rocky to this roster to help make sure that Raider fans don't have a heart attack going into the regular season. When you talk about the Raiders' August outlook, it's the preseason right now. You got 3 more games to go, and as it currently stands, according to Over the Cap, the Raiders have $22.3 million in salary cap space, which is second in the NFL. I was told that the Raiders are getting ready to get active soon. In terms of how soon it is in the month of August. The next game is going to be on August 14th against the Minnesota Vikings. So my question to the nation is this. Let me know down in the comments section right now if you come across this video. I don't care when you came across it. Why for yes and for no? Do you think that the Raiders need to sign a free agent? My answer to this is yes, and that's why I made this video. The Raiders need to go out and sign these 3 free agents. So not only am I going to tell you who they are, I'm also going to tell you how much I would pay them. Let's go to number 1 here on my list. The number 1 player the Raiders need to sign. If you watched the Raiders Report for a while, this one should be no surprise to you whatsoever. It's Daryl Williams, and he can play offensive guard. He can play right tackle as well. If you want the top offensive tackle in free agency, here's your guy. He's played in every single game for 3 straight years, so considering the fact that Brandon Parker is injured, considering the fact that after Leatherwood, after Colton Miller, the depth there at offensive tackle, it's thin, man. And if, let's just hypothetically say, okay, well, you want to still keep Leatherwood out there at right tackle, Daryl Williams also provides some ability as an offensive guard. When you look at some of his PFF numbers in 2020, this is when he played right tackle. He played in over 1,000 snaps. A overall grade of 79.4, which is above average, no doubt about that. Run blocking grade of 76.9, pass blocking grade of 80. He's a better pass blocker than he is a run blocker, and as far as I'm concerned, that's more important to me. In 2021, the Bills lined him up as a right guard. They also lined him up as right tackle. Predominantly, though, he had more snaps as a right guard. Over 1,000 snaps, overall grade of 67.5. A run blocking grade of 60.3, a pass blocking grade of 72.4. My biggest takeaway from Daryl Williams is when you put him in at right tackle, he's a lot better. In 2021, the numbers were a little bit down because he didn't play as many snaps at right tackle compared to guard. So a 67.5 overall grade. In 2020, over 1,000 snaps at right tackle, pretty high grade. 2019, not a lot of snaps at right tackle, only a 56.1 overall grade. 2017, another good year. Guess what happened? Over 1,000 snaps at right tackle. This is a prime time example of when you see a player is good at something, don't make it overcomplicated, put him in at tackle. The issue is, I do know the Raiders want to have Leatherwood out there. Also, Lester Cotton is playing pretty well. So a lot of times I get asked, well, Mitch, give me some reasons of why the Raiders should sign Daryl Williams. Here are 5 reasons for you. He's versatile. He can play offensive tackle. He can play offensive guard. The Raiders need a right tackle. I saw all the reports out there from Brandon Parker. It's Brandon Parker's job to lose. His footwork's better. Give Brandon Parker a chance. But I trust my eyes. I knew Parker was never going to work out, and now he's injured. So you have all that on top of it. You can also give Leatherwood help. I've sat up here and said that I have viewed Leatherwood as a offensive guard prospect. I probably would have had him ranked as like a 3rd-round prospect in terms of an overall offensive tackle. If you want to make sure that he gets better, when I watched the game film just this past week of Leatherwood against the Jags, when you were able to give him help, he was a lot better. In one-on-one situations, he definitely struggled a little bit more. And probably the most important reason, you need your car insurance. Protect Derek Carr, because if you don't protect him, doesn't matter if you got Devontae Adams. Doesn't matter if you got Josh Jacobs. Doesn't matter if you have Darren Waller. Doesn't matter if you have Hunter Renfrow. You need to protect Derek Carr, and Daryl Williams is going to help you do that. So the offer that I would give him is I'd offer him a 2-year deal worth $14 million per year, and I'd give him $12 million of that guaranteed. I saw the Riley Reef contract personally. I thought he was overpaid. I saw Morgan Moses 3 years, about $15 million. So I'm going to meet in the middle here a little bit. Give him a 2-year deal. Make sure he's got a little extra guarantees because he is getting up there in age. So, y'all, I want y'all right now, if you haven't already, give us a follow on Rumble. A lot of times we get asked, hey, do you got a podcast out there? My answer to that is Rumble. Rumble is the way to listen to the Raiders Report like a podcast. It's ad-free. You can minimize the screen, which you can't do over on YouTube. You can put that in your pocket. So let's just say you're taking a walk, you're driving the car, you're doing something like getting groceries, and you can't sit there and watch your phone. You can listen to our show like a podcast. And this video, again, was dropped on Rumble first. So scan that QR code with your phone, get out your camera, hover over that bad boy, click on the Rumble Raiders Report. Give us a follow. I'm trying to get to 2,000 followers. Let's go to number 2 here on my list of the top 3 free agents the Raiders need to sign right now. Ndamukong Suh. So I'm addressing the offensive line. I'm addressing the defensive line. Why? I've said it 100 times. The NFL is still one, in my opinion, in the trenches. Offensive line, defensive line. And right now, Las Vegas is desperate for defensive tackle depth. Yes, Jonathan Hankins is expected back soon. Yes, Bilal Nichols is expected back soon. But the fact that he has shown interest in the Raiders, the fact that the Raiders have shown interest in him, the fact that Suh hasn't missed a game since the year I graduated high school in 2011 is spectacular. He's a no-doubt Hall of Famer. He could really put guys like Neil Farrell Jr., put a player like Matthew Butler underneath his wing, and he's just a mean SOB, y'all. 590 tackles, 71 career sacks in 191 games. And sure, he's getting up there in age, but as far as I'm concerned, the production hasn't really come down, right? Last 2 seasons, 6 sacks. Last 2 seasons, over 13 quarterback hits. The Raiders have a lot of good defensive tackles at stopping the run, and not a lot of DTs that have a lot of experience of getting after the quarterback. In fact, Jonathan Hankins leads the team with 14 career sacks. Ndamukong Suh's had 12 the last 2 seasons. So the reasons why I would sign Suh, he's still a reliable player. I don't think he's going to cost a lot, but he's going to be one of those dudes that you know, week in and week out, you can count on. The Raiders need extra defensive tackle depth. Tough veteran leadership. I want that. I want somebody who just is a nasty player, a mean SOB, but he's kind to his guys in the locker room. You're going to be able to get after the quarterback. And the final reason, he grew up a Raider fan. He wants to be a Raider. So the Raiders' defensive tackle unit, I believe they can keep 5, potentially 6. And if you add Suh, then you probably don't have the worst defensive tackle room in the National Football League anymore. So in terms of, all right, Mitch, get out your checkbook. How much would you offer him? I'm going to give Ndamukong Suh a 1-year deal, $5 million guaranteed. Going to give him $5 million guaranteed. However, if he wants to get up there in incentives, I'd give him $8 million, where you can make an extra $3 million in incentives. Last season, Ndamukong Suh played for $9 million. I do think one of the reasons why he has been a little bit cautious on signing with the team is because he doesn't really want to go out there in training camp. He's getting up there in age. But if you guarantee a contract and he can make more money so he's still motivated to go out there and compete, that's the type of deal that I personally think would make a lot of sense for Ndamukong at age 35, 36 years old. I do have one more name to get into here on the show, but as always, I want you guys to DM me your thoughts, what you're thinking about what I do here. If you want to see extra videos, please interact with me on social media. It's why it's there. Don't get me wrong. I love YouTube. I'm always in my comments, also on YouTube. But I really think the way that you guys can get to know me and the way I can get to know you is by hitting me up on social, and it's an easy way to make sure you never miss anything. Number 3 here on my list of the top 3 free agents the Raiders need to sign, I'm going to go Jaime Collins, outside linebacker. And when I think of who could be a player that reminds me of a Daron Harmon type of signing, who's a player that reminds me of a Casey Hayward signing, where some people are going to be like, dude, he's 32 years old. He's a player coach. He's somebody that can help a lot of these younger players like a Divine Diablo really embrace this role and be a versatile player. He can still stop the run. He can still be a coverage linebacker. He can blitz when he needs to be. He has played in multiple Patriot systems. And what do I mean by that? He's played underneath Matt Patricia. He's played underneath a whole bunch of different Patriots coaches. And he knows what Josh McDaniels is looking for. Last year, according to PFF, overall grade of 84.3, run defense grade of 76.8, pass rush grade of 76.1, coverage grade of 76.8. So he's still doing all of these things above average. In fact, he's doing them well. Now, sure, the snap counts came down a little bit last season. He only was able to play, I believe, in 14 games, 302 total snaps. but he lined up against the run 151 times. Rushed the quarterback 45, dropped back into coverage. Patrick Graham wants versatility. Patrick Graham wants players that can play in multiple schemes. So if you're running a 3 front, maybe you're running the 4 front, maybe you're running the 5 front, you can have Jaime Collins out there. So if there's a situation where Denzel Perriman's out there, maybe you drop Jaime Collins back into coverage. Maybe there's a situation where Divine Diablo's out there. Okay, we're going to have him blitz. What about Jayon Brown? He's better in coverage. Okay, now you can have Jaime stopping the run. All I'm looking for here is extra versatility and a player who can still play at a high level. And versatility, playing at a high level, can be a player coach. For all of those reasons is why I think the Raiders should pick up the phone and give Collins a call. So what am I going to offer him? It's going to be a little bit low to some of y'all, but I'm going to give him a 1-year, $3 million deal with incentives to make up the 4. Some people are like, wow, that's kind of low. He's a linebacker. Linebackers are kind of easy to replace, and if you're not getting these high sack numbers, you simply are not going to get a lot of money in this current NFL juncture. So I talked about 3 players. Talked about Daryl Williams. Talked about Ndamukong Suh. I talked about Jaime Collins. And when I say this question, you can only pick one to sign. I want you to think about the money involved. So the contracts that I'm offering to these players, that goes into the equation as well. So if you could sign one player, who would it be? Daryl Williams, Ndamukong Suh, or Jaime Collins? Now, before I wrap up today's show, the other thing that I'm going to throw in here is this. If I sign Daryl Williams, if I sign Jaime Collins, and if I sign Ndamukong Suh, the reason why I picked those 3 players is because you have enough money to make all of those moves. On top of that, I want to make sure that Darren Waller remains a Raider. I want to make sure that Denzel Perriman's a Raider for another 2-3 seasons. By signing those 3 players, you ensure yourself that you have enough money to show some of these other guys that go out there and they have done it, that you want them around. So sign those 3 players and then commit to Darren Waller and Denzel Perriman, a little bit higher money for the next 2 to 3 seasons. So what do you think, y'all? Do the Raiders need to sign a free agent? Y for yes or N for no? Shout out to all the real ones out there that have made it this far in today's show.